The 2020 U.S. presidential election was arguably one of the most contentious in recent history. The stakes were high, the rhetoric was heated, and the nation held its breath as the results slowly trickled in. When Joe Biden emerged victorious, it wasn't the end of the story. Instead, it was the beginning of a new chapter, one marked by unprecedented attempts to overturn the will of the American people. In the heart of this maelstrom stood Donald Trump, the incumbent president who refused to concede defeat. Clinging to baseless claims of widespread voter fraud, he embarked on a campaign to subvert the democratic process, sowing seeds of doubt and discord that continue to plague the nation today. His efforts to retain power, as detailed in a bombshell report by the Department of Justice, have sent shockwaves through the country, exposing the fragility of American democracy and the lengths to which some will go to cling to power. The DOJ report, the culmination of years of investigation, paints a chilling picture of a president who would stop at nothing to overturn the election results. It is a stark reminder that the peaceful transfer of power, a cornerstone of American democracy, is not a guarantee but a fragile tradition that must be fiercely protected. The report's findings have reignited debates about election integrity, the rule of law, and the very future of American democracy. This is not just a story about a past election. It is a cautionary tale about the importance of vigilance, accountability, and the unwavering defense of democratic principles. The events of 2020 and their aftermath serve as a stark warning that the erosion of democratic norms can happen anywhere, at any time, and that the price of complacency is far too high to bear. After years of speculation and investigations, the Department of Justice has released its report on Donald Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election. This document, based on extensive investigation and testimony, reveals the Trump administration's actions post-election. The findings are explosive, showing a coordinated effort to subvert the election results. Trump and his allies actively undermined American democracy. The report details pressure on state officials, interference with DOJ investigations, and a scheme to install illegitimate electors. These actions were coordinated at the highest levels. The report's release has sent shockwaves, reigniting calls for accountability and raising questions about democracy's future. It has deepened the partisan divide, with Trump supporters dismissing it as a witch hunt. The DOJ report is a reminder of democracy's fragility and the need to protect it. It underscores that no one is above the law and the pursuit of justice is essential. The release of the DOJ report marks the beginning of a new chapter for American democracy. Central to the DOJ's findings is the revelation of a brazen and audacious plan. The attempt to overturn the 2020 election results through the use of so-called fake electors. This scheme, orchestrated by Trump allies and advisors, aimed to exploit a quirk in the Electoral College system to cast doubt on the legitimacy of Biden's victory and potentially swing the election in Trump's favor. The plan involved assembling groups of pro-Trump electors in key battleground states won by Biden, who would then cast their votes for Trump despite the official results. These alternate slates of electors, lacking any legal standing and directly contradicting the certified popular vote in their respective states, were presented as a way to challenge the election outcome during the official Electoral College vote count in Congress. The hope, it seems, was to create enough chaos and confusion to either delay the certification of Biden's victory or, in the most extreme scenario, provide a pretext for overturning the results altogether. The scheme relied on a combination of legal maneuvering, political pressure, and outright deception, exploiting the intricacies of the Electoral College system to sow doubt and discord. The DOJ report meticulously documents the origins and execution of this audacious plan, identifying key players and their roles in this attempt to subvert the democratic process. From Rudy Giuliani's frantic phone calls to state legislators to John Eastman's dubious legal theories, the report exposes the lengths to which Trump and his inner circle were willing to go to cling to power. The fake elector scheme, far from being a fringe theory or a last-ditch effort, was a central component of Trump's broader strategy to overturn the election, a testament to the audacity and determination of his efforts. The revelation of this scheme has sent shockwaves through the legal and political landscape, raising profound questions about the vulnerability of American democracy to such brazen attempts at manipulation. The DOJ report's detailed account of the fake elector plot serves as a stark reminder that the preservation of democratic norms requires constant vigilance and a willingness to hold those who violate them accountable, regardless of their position or power. The DOJ report also shines a light on the relentless pressure campaign waged by Trump and his allies against state election officials, particularly in battleground states where the margin of victory was slim. These officials, often Republicans themselves, were subjected to a barrage of phone calls, public statements, and veiled threats, all aimed at coercing them into overturning the election results in their states. Trump's message was clear: find me the votes, regardless of the actual count. One of the most egregious examples of this pressure campaign was Trump's infamous phone call to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, a fellow Republican. In this now infamous conversation, Trump could be heard urging Raffensperger to find enough votes to overturn Biden's victory in the state, making baseless accusations of voter fraud and suggesting that Raffensperger could face criminal charges if he refused to comply. This blatant attempt to interfere with the outcome of a Democratic election sent shockwaves through the nation, highlighting the lengths to which Trump was willing to go to retain power. The DOJ report details numerous other instances of such pressure tactics, painting a picture of a coordinated effort to bully and intimidate state officials into subverting the will of their constituents. From Arizona to Michigan, Pennsylvania to Wisconsin, Trump and his allies targeted election officials with a mix of cajoling, threats, and outright intimidation, seeking to exploit any perceived weakness or vulnerability to their advantage. These actions, far from being isolated incidents, represent a systemic assault on the integrity of the electoral process and a dangerous erosion of democratic norms. The DOJ's findings on the pressure campaign against state officials serve as a stark warning about the fragility of democracy and the importance of safeguarding it against those who would seek to undermine it from within. The report's detailed account of these efforts should serve as a wake-up call to all Americans, regardless of their political affiliation, to remain vigilant in the face of such threats, and to hold those who engage in them accountable for their actions. Section 5. Weaponizing the DOJ, a threat to democracy. The DOJ report reveals how Trump and his allies attempted to weaponize the Department of Justice to support baseless claims of election fraud. Trump sought to leverage the DOJ's authority to overturn the election results in his favor. This attempt struck at the heart of American democracy, threatening the rule of law. Trump pressured DOJ officials, including William Barr and Jeffrey Rosen, to endorse his claims. Despite no evidence, Trump persisted, accusing the department of disloyalty. This campaign damaged the DOJ's reputation and independence. The report is a chilling reminder of the dangers posed by leaders prioritizing personal gain over the rule of law. Exploiting government power for partisan ends threatens American democracy. The report calls for reforms to strengthen the DOJ's independence. The findings are a stark warning about the fragility of democratic institutions. The American people must remain vigilant and hold those responsible accountable. In the intricate web of deceit, the truth often becomes obscured. Lies and misinformation spread like wildfire, leaving a trail of confusion and distrust. As the layers of deception unfold, one can't help but wonder, who can be trusted in this tangled web? The quest for justice is a long and arduous journey. Many ask, will those responsible be held accountable? The scales of justice often seem unbalanced, but the pursuit of truth and fairness continues. The hope remains that justice will indeed be served. In these challenging times, the nation finds itself starkly divided. Ideological rifts deepen, and unity feels like a distant dream. Yet amidst the discord, there lies a resilient spirit, a hope that common ground can be found and bridges can be built. American democracy stands at a crossroads. The need to safeguard its principles has never been more urgent. Vigilance, integrity, and active participation are key to ensuring that democracy not only survives, but thrives. The journey to protect and preserve it is a collective responsibility.